Watch the Pop Culture Cafe with Will Clinton, these two knuckleheads. Is that good?
The following announcement has been paid for.
Yeah, I remember I was talking about that. But when you said,
oh, jeez.
You said message, I'm like, man, I'm trying to remember which one it was, but okay.
Christmas with the KKK. So, all right, here, this was the funny part.
Right.
So, Springer would always have this briefing. Okay. And the briefing, every now and then, it's like, okay, this is going to be the show, all this stuff. And, you're going to be here, you're going to be here, you're going to be here. And, Steve was always in the front.
Given the landscape of
yeah,
the show.
he was always in the front next to this other cop, and whatnot. Because I think at that time, Steve was working as a Chicago cop. I don't know what beat he worked or anything like that. I just know.
That was after the Marine Corps, too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was way after that.
Yeah, so we're on the same page.
Right.
Yep.
This was way after that. So it was always fun working the show. Jerry was a sweet guy.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he was one of the most decent guys.
Like he was,
Jerry, what you see is what you get. Jerry, I can't say enough about Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer was the nicest guy I had ever had the pleasure of working for at that particular time, and the pleasure of meeting.
Okay.
And one day, I had stayed over because someone decided they weren't going to show up for their shift. And at the time, this was around the time I was working. I had moonlighted and was working for the building.
Oh, okay.
Right? So we would have to stay overnight until 6 a.m. Well, here's what happened. This one particular morning, she was notorious for taking off when she wanted to and inconveniencing everybody else because I lived on in the south suburbs then, so I had a long drive home. Now, I had just pulled a double. I worked for Springer in the daytime, then in the nighttime, and then overnight for NBC.
Okay.
So I was pulling damn near 3 shifts, right? So this one particular morning, she decides that she's not going to show up, so I do the rounds until the other person
shows up.
Got there, right. Well, I go to Springer's office, and I ask him. I'm walking around, he's like, hey, Will, how you doing? I'm like, hey, how's it going, Jerry? And it's like, yeah, fine, yeah. All that stuff, so I ask him. I'm like, hey, Jerry, how do you get people for your show? I mean, I was just wondering.
Right, yeah.
Because the greatest lessons I ever learned about television was working for Jenny Jones and Jerry Springer. Like right now, if I wanted to launch, which we've been talking about, if I wanted to launch our own talk show, I could easily do it because of those lessons that I learned from watching Jerry and Jenny Jones do their thing live.
Okay.
And see, I didn't get to watch one show. I got to watch 2 tapings a day, 4 hours a day. 4 days a week. They didn't ever work Fridays.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Can't go wrong with that.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So I asked him, and he said, okay, this is how we do it. I think he took me to, his office. It was me and another person. And 2,000 messages on the machine. Talking about they wanted to be on the show because of this, that, or the other thing. Yep, true story.
Wow.
True story.
Because like you watched the movie, the Springer movie, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's why. I was.
That's how they do it.
That's how they do. Oh, so that is legit. Oh wow.
Yep, that's legit. Yeah, Ringmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show, the movie Ringmaster. Yeah, that's how they do it.
Oh wow. Damn.
If you ever want to learn how talk shows are done, even on how the manipulation thing is done and stuff, which I've told several people close to me about this. And what I mean by manipulation is, excuse me.
Oh,
Ooh.
waking right up there.
Oh my God.
COVID. Yeah, I said it.
Oh my God. Anyhow,
It's the season finale. We're not giving a shit today.
okay, so when I say manipulation, if you're told one thing and your the level of emotion is up there, like,
Oh yeah.
oh, okay, don't go fight. What are you gonna do?
You're gonna fight.
There you go.
Yeah. That makes sense. 100% sense. Jeez.
Oh man.
If we end up getting sick,
Sorry about that.
that's gotta get a week off work. So, no, like the reason I say okay, Steve Wilkos, that guy, and I understand both sides. My thing is, there's 2 sides that I've always lived my life like this. Like, hey, you got a problem, but I want to hear, person A has a problem, but I want to hear person B's side.
Right.
There's 2 sides to every story. Steve Wilkos jumps the gun immediately and takes one person's side on their show.
Yep, sure does.
It's like, why? Like, I never understood his. I understand the whole Marine Corps thing. I've grown around military people. My
Right,
life.
absolutely.
But it's like, you take the time to listen to both sides of the story. Like, you have to, and then you draw your own conclusion. It's like, whoever's right is right, whoever's wrong is wrong. It's like, and then he says, get off Earth, don't sit down on my chair.
Get off my stage.
You're going to go through this door or that door. Get off my stage. It's like, who are you? Like, Steve Wilkos, if you do watch this, okay, I'm going to go. I don't give a fuck who you are, dude. Okay, listen to both sides of the story. Be a decent human fucking being for once in your life, and you might be respected. So how many people don't respect you, dude? I don't respect you. I don't. Flat out. You jump the gun on everything. And then there's been people like, oh, well, he's beating me. And then the lie detector test, well, it's proven. And then he doesn't even apologize to people.
Oh no, you know what?
He doesn't apologize. He's like, okay, well, you're the liar. He's right. And he doesn't even apologize because he's ripping on these guys. He's ripping and tearing at them a new shred. And then it proves that she's the one that's lying, and he doesn't apologize to them.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that on this show more than once.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's amazing to me that if you're a talk show host, you have to be objective and listen to both sides.
Yes.
Not judge. Okay, I never agreed with the whole judging thing.
No.
I agreed with, hey, you hear both sides of the story, and then after the truth is revealed, you still don't have a personal opinion on it. Okay?
There was one I was watching. This guy's like, she's like, I'm afraid of her. She's been training MMA, mixed martial arts. I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
did I send you
yeah.
that video?
Yep.
I was thinking to myself, man, is she going to fight Marlon Sims next? Or
Yeah, she was a...
which
woo.
Marlon Sims, we're gonna get you soon enough.
You know what?
And Frank Dukes.
Oh, Frank Dukes.
The Karate Master tournament. Yeah. I've been in 300 street fights. You know, I with this guy, and people were coming around town to see me fight. Marlon Sims, fuck off, dude.
Yeah. Okay. So let's wrap this thing up with Steve Wilkos and then get to Mr. Sims.
Yeah.
And Mr. Dukes. Okay.
I'm excited for that.
Oh, yeah.
You know where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
But you know, my opinion is, you know, Steve Wilkos, you're not even a legit talk show host. You were a Marine officer. That's it.
Not only that, he was on Springer.
Yeah.
Then
Start.
Then let's just say certain people in the kit, so to speak, got him pushed.
Yep. Okay.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember you talking about.
Yeah, so certain people made it possible
Yeah.
for him to have his own show.
I mean, what he like? I've seen episodes where I'm like, oh my god, I hope he buries that dude, you know, and then be like, hey, stand, don't sit on my chair. Hey, there's been times I've cheered for Steve to be like, punch that dude in his fucking head, dude. Mm-hmm. But the other half, it's like an 80-20, like Easy said, like 80-20, you know, like he takes 20%. The 20%, you're actually like listening and paying attention. The 80%, you're just you're judging one fucking side, dude. Fuck off, you know. You're not even talk shows. You're not even legit. You're irrelevant. Everything you say that comes out of your mouth is diarrhea, for fuck's sake.
Damn, diarrhea.
Sorry, I'm getting on a little rant here, but no, it's like at least I'm doing
man.
it on camera, not on Facebook,
Right.
like most people.
Well, yeah. I would rather do it on camera than to be a keyboard warrior, just so you know.
Oh, dude, I got some memes for that too, by the way.
Oh, keyboard warrior?
Yeah, I've been saving those for the right moment. I've been saving them for the right moments.
Oh,
But
sweet.
I still have them on my phone. I'm like, I'm just one I actually got to use. I'm like, thank you, and I thanked the person. I was like, thank you so much. I've been dying to use this one.
Oh, man.
But as far as Steve Wilkos, you know, I found out Maury's coming to an end.
Well, here's what happened with Maury, okay? What Maury tried to do, Maury knew that his time, you know, I mean...
was over.
Yeah, well, he wanted to be at home with his grandkids and, you know, he's got grandkids.
Connie Chung, right, is his wife?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
They got grandkids now, man. I mean... Connie's doing things, and you know, maybe Steve wanted to go. You know, not Steve, but Maury wanted to go into another direction. So Maury actually had a guy to come on and host this show, but that guy sucked so bad that they just said, "Forget it, Maury. We got to end the show." Maury didn't want to end the show.
My question is this though: when it comes to the end of the Maury show, and I've watched that so many times.
Oh God, I love it.
How are the women going to find their baby daddies now?
Well, more so, where in the hell are these people going to get their 15 minutes? All of the trash, man. I mean, from ghetto to ghetto, from trailer park to trailer. Where are they going to get it now? Where are they going to get their 15 minutes?
Maury used to have different top. Now every week it's, she was with 10 guys, or one of them the father, or he's cheating. You can't pass a lie detector. It's like, Maury, I love you. Like, I love your shows. They're entertaining. I really don't, like, I think a lot of those are actors anyway.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you this much. I don't know about what the modern shows were, but I can tell you from working on Springer and Jenny Jones.
Except like Scott Amador.
I mean, man, that stuff was legit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that stuff.
They didn't pay them?
All right.
Actors?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here was the deal. What they would do is, if someone that was going to be a potential guest would call the show,
oh, okay,
they would get free airfare. They would get free lodging, you know, and their dinner's paid for and all that stuff.
Right.
And they may even get, something free where they would get to tour around the city or whatever, you know, in Chicago or whatever it was, right? So the thing was, and I can tell you about one situation, okay, when I worked on Springer. Well, one situation was there was a guest versus guest show.
Okay.
And this guest versus guest was this transvestite.
Oh, dude, was that where they boxed?
Well, it wasn't they boxed. Okay, it was a transvestite. It was a 6 foot. He had to be 6'4" and about a good 380, and he was dressed like a straight up woman. This brother, man. I mean,
If it's the, I think I remember that episode. If I remember correctly.
yeah. So it was that guy, and it was this little bitty dude. This little bitty dude said, "You know what? There's this one guest you had on your show, and I totally hate this guy, and all of that, and yada yada yada." So they bring him out, and the little guy is sitting there, and the big dude, he comes out dressed like a woman, of course.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Right. So
trash TV.
they're which is the plug for the new show,
Yeah.
Trash TV. Look for it sometime soon.
We will be on there.
Yeah. Okay. So they are sitting next to each other, and they get into words, and dude decides that he's gonna take this guy's wig off. What the fuck did he do that for?
Big mistake.
This dude got up and tried to get at him. Me and the other security guys rushed the stage, broke him up, had to take the big dude outside. And man, let me tell you, this dude was like, "I'm gonna catch his ass after the show, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. I'm gonna kill his ass. He don't touch my wig." You know, I'm like, "Oh shit."
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, dog, calm down, man, calm down. Man, fuck that, man. He ain't gonna do that to me. He ain't gonna grab my shit. Yeah, I mean, he's outside cussing up a storm.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember the exact. I think there was one where like they let him just go at it. And I think it was like guest versus guest, but I'll try to remember it where it's at. But
Man, dog, we rushed the stage, broke him up, got that dude outside, man, and he was mad for a long time. I think it got to the point where we would not put him back on the stage until he calmed down. Now, he eventually got back on stage, but it took some doing. They had to go to the next segment and stuff until dude kind of collected himself because he was angry. This other situation was there was this girl. Okay, now, behind the stage, the old stage, there where the pillars were,
okay.
and that was the old stage. So they had pillars behind the old stage. Well, behind it was a little penalty box. Okay. So the penalty box was probably no more than it wasn't even a good 12 by 12. Okay. 12 feet by 12 feet. It wasn't even that.
Oh,
It was small. And the pillar, this girl, they had me escort this girl to the pillar where a monitor was sitting. So she was watching the monitor. Now the monitor was turned up so she can hear everything that was going on.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was her boyfriend was cheating with her best friend, and I was sitting there, and when she found this out,
Oh shit. Okay.
I mean, she was she was beautiful.
Why did they do with cheating on her? That
Yeah.
like you got that. Why would you cheat on her?
He was. I mean, she was. Shit, folks. Let me tell you. Now, there was a lot of times they used to go to the deepest, darkest trailer parks and get these people, or they would go from city to city, ghetto to ghetto, and all that to get these people. But I have to say, I don't know where this woman came from, but I will say this. Fellas, if you have a girl that is probably like a little tiny bitty thing, and she's beautiful, and she's smart, and intelligent, and can put sentences together correctly, you won the game.
Yeah.
What more do you freaking need?
Yeah.
And educated.
Yeah.
What more do you need? Okay? Now, I am talking to this young lady right before I sit her into the penalty box. She was going to college.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She was going to college. She was beautiful. She was smart. And all these things, and anything a guy, a decent, high-value guy could want in his life. This is what this fool did, right? So, this fool gets on TV, her boyfriend gets on TV. He's sitting out there, she's in the penalty box, and she's looking. She's under the assumption that he's going to ask her for marriage. But this is not what happened. He brought her on the show to let her know that he was leaving her for the best friend, which the best friend ain't have nothing on her. Like, period. Nothing. Nothing.
That's how it always works out, though. That's
Nothing.
what it is.
If there was a choice that you had to make in between these two, that little bitty thing would have been it, man. I mean, just she had all the tools.
Damn.
So I, am sitting there while she's finding this out, and she didn't break out like, oh, boo. It was slow. It was like a slow burn.
Right.
Like
But
the
it
more
stung
she
real
listened,
bad, yeah.
the more she listened, she started to shake. The tears was running down her face. I mean, just started streaming down her face like,
Jesus.
how could this dude do this to me? Like, how? And I said, hey, you know, and I went and got her a Kleenex and all that, and I'm like, it's going to be all right. I said, don't worry. It's going to be all right. And she didn't know what to do, so the producer came over, and she was like, well, what we don't want you to do, and stuff like that. But she was having an affair with Richard Dominic anyway, but that's another story. So, so that producer, came over and was like, oh, well, what we don't want you to do, we don't want you to fight and stuff like that. And this woman still trying to compute what the fuck just happened.
And I speak from experience. It's when you have a scenario, someone you care about does that. It doesn't hit right away.
No, it don't. It don't.
So I know what that chick like. I know what that lady's. I can just imagine because it was a slow.
It was a slow
process,
burn, dude.
yeah.
It was a
But
slow
stung.
burn.
It's like holy.
Yeah,
fuck.
I mean, she sat there for 5 minutes and listened to this shit, and she was just, she didn't break out, boo-hoo. No,
Right.
she didn't do all that. She just started crying and crying and crying, and she couldn't stop it. I mean, the tears were flowing, and she sat there silent.
That's what was scaring me right there.
She sat there silent. I swear to God this happened. She sat there silently. She didn't say anything. I got her Kleenex. She still didn't say anything. She might have said thank you.
Wow.
And she sat there and she listened to the rest of this stuff. And then the producer comes over. Well, we're gonna let you go on stage, but we don't want you to fight or anything like that. And she just shook her head. She didn't say okay.
Right.
She just went. And as soon as Jerry called her name, I wish I could remember her name, but I remember what she looked like. I remembered what she looked like, and I remember the situation that happened, and it was really sad, man. But when she was called, she casually got up, and she went to the stage, and I never seen a little person like that go from 0 to 60 in my entire life, but this happened. She got to the stage and she zipped and went after him. Went after him, and this little bitty thing, man.
Well,
She was throwing haymakers.
Yeah,
I'm like, God dog it.
keep fucking put Anderson Silva out of the title contention.
Man.
Well, in a scenario like that, fuck yeah, the dude deserved
She'd have
it.
whooped Ronda, man, at that
No,
point.
fuck yeah.
She would have whooped Ronda.
Yeah.
She'd have whooped Ronda Rousey, man.
In a scenario like that, the dude had it coming. Hell, I probably would have been cheering for her. I'd be like, go girl!
Yeah, I was like, okay. So then the security rushed, and they didn't
Picked him up and-
right. They just broke her up off him because he wasn't hitting her back. He was just like he was terrified.
Like-
But what was worse was she went after the girl. Man, I never seen so much blonde hair on stage. She
God.
ripped that girl's hair out, man. That little, look, this is just let this be a lesson. Do not ever judge somebody in size.
No. All that. You'll learn that real quick.
Okay? Do not ever judge someone because they might be a little smaller and whatnot. This woman, she could scrap.
Yeah.
She was a scrapper, man.
Wow. Almost reminds me of that time in East Dubuque years ago. My car, I'm going to the Coliseum, and car's here.
Okay.
Not bad. It's down here, and I'm going all the way, walk down the Coliseum because the place is just packed. So at the very end of the night, I'm running, saying hi to a couple friends. And then I finally get in my car, I'm looking through my keys, and all of a sudden I hear, "You fucking slut!" Whack! And I'm like, what the fuck?
Damn.
There's a chick fight. I'm like, the guys are like looking on, they're like, oh yeah. And then they end up on top of my hood, my car, with heels on. And I'm like, hey. And the guys are like, dude, don't break this up. I'm like, fuck you, dude. That's my car. He's like, oh shit, we might have to get him off.
You can't write this shit, man.
They're on top of my car, doing the whole hair thing, smacking. That's not the funniest part. The funniest part is they were still on top of my car, and they rolled up on my windshield.
Did they break your
They didn't break my windshield.
Oh, okay,
That's
thank
what I was
God.
worried about. I'm like, ladies. And like, shut the fuck up. And then she looks at me. She looks at her, whack. And I'm like, wow.
That kind of sexy.
That's kind of a turn on there. But I was more like worried about my car. Then the one flipped over. They end up going on the ground. Then they end up going underneath my car.
They went under.
Yeah. Like she's like one scooter under, then she's like following her. I'm like, damn, does she really want to kill this chick that bad or what? Because
Yeah, it must have been a boyfriend involved.
here's the bottom of my car, and one goes underneath, the other one goes right out. And I'm like, you can see their legs pop. I'm like, and I looked at the dude, and the one chick looks at me and I go, I don't think I'm ever leaving. She's like, yeah, I think you're going to be here for a while. And I'm like, really? I was like, no help or anything like that. She's like, the one dude's like, hey, don't break this up, man. I'm like, I just want to get the fuck home. The meantime, cops are driving by, and it's like my car, they drive around. I'm like, so I literally sat on my hood just like this. I'm just like, well, just wait for them when they're done. The fight finally got broke up.
What you doing, bitch? No, you bitch. bitch.
Oh, I heard the word bitch more times that night than any other girl I've dated in my entire life that judges other women. I was like, I literally sat there just. Then I drove home, thought about it. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh,
They were on top of my car, fighting. This is the one moment of East Dubuque I will never forget. I'm like, two chicks fought on my car.
Oh, shoot.
They're gonna fight Marlon Sims probably next, but I'm Junior Frank. But it's like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I went home. I laid down in bed, and I just kept thinking, I was like, two girls fought on my fucking car.
That's kind of cool.
You can't write this stuff. You can't make it up. As Charlie Murphy said, who the fuck can make up that shit?
You can't make that up, man. Can't make that up. Just like I told you the first. You know what? If they ever did a biopic, they need to put that shit in there, man. Because it's like, yes, the first episode I worked as a security officer, Fort Springer was Christmas with the KKK.
Oh, God. I remember this. Oh, my God.
But you know what? The second Christmas, though, was pretty mellow.
Yeah.
Because I got to meet Debbie Gibson.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Ooh. And I followed Debbie. I remember meeting you in Chicago and how much you were flirting. So, you know what? kudos to you and what you're doing with your career right now is awesome. Awesome. I'm a Debbie Gibson fan, but I was a fan of hers when I was growing up. But when I got to meet her, it made me an even bigger, more fan because
you were fangirling, weren't you?
Oh man. Ooh.
You're like,
Tiffany!
Debbie!
It was more so like I got on an elevator with her.
Right.
Okay. It was me and it was her and there was this guy. He was a soap opera dude. I have no idea why he was on the show even.
Right.
Because he wasn't really doing anything. I mean, Jenny Jones just had him on the show. I mean, because at that time he was on All My Children, and I can't remember even what character he played, but I remember
All My Children, that was
ABC.
ABC.
Yeah, ABC, Erica Kane. My mom watched it. My mom watched this show repeatedly, so that's how I found out all of the characters. But actually, it was the greatest lessons in how to talk to girls that I've ever had in my life watching soap operas. Yeah.